Casey, you're muted.
This is your show. This is your.
Oh, this is my show. This is our one-off special. What's going on, everybody? This is Big Dog AJ, and you got Casey is Raw, and this is the one night only for Wednesday night Nitro. We have a big news topic that we're going to be talking about tonight. Casey actually let me know about this because I had no clue. I've been like oblivious to wrestling lately. I've just been all about football. But Casey, you want to share to tell everybody what's going on?
Yeah, it's the Chris Jericho allegations. Me and the Rose and Kratos, we talked about this on Sunday, but we didn't get to talk about it too much. So it seems like it's getting kind of spicy. It's like I would say it's almost like you remember when I was talking about this guy, the completionist.
Yeah.
See, I kind of can kind of compare it to that a little bit. What the situation almost, well, not really though, because with the completionist, there's so much evidence that he is so guilty that he deserves to be canceled.
Mm-hmm.
While Chris Jericho, there's really no evidence of this. It was just all this stuff started with I guess it was with a podcast with this lawyer who represented CM Punk and Ace Steel.
Well, let's be honest. There's more to that story, Casey. But
All right.
continue.
Well, there were yeah, this lawyer was on this podcast saying that the only person behind the scenes that witness was kind of part of the brawl out was that didn't have an NDA was Ace Steele's wife. And then later on, Jericho makes a tweet saying um, that he didn't have an NDA, and they were starting to have a kind of a spat. And then uh, you remember the I try to remember the guy who um CM Punk pointed out after the what maybe was that guy or was the same lawyer who pointed out no.
It was the lawyer. It was. Let's break down the factors of the matter. Okay, everybody knows who Jim Cornette is, and
Yeah.
Brian Lash. They do the drive-in, the Jim Cornette experience, the drive-in with Jim Cornette. The lawyer that we're talking about, his name is Stephen P. News. They always promote this guy on their podcast every time they do a live show, and I guess Stephen P. New was the lawyer and representative for CM Punk and Ace Steel for Brawl Out at All Out. So pretty much, Chris Jericho. It really starts with MJF, if you really want to take in consideration, because like you sent me that video of Solo Monster,
Yeah.
and Solo Monster's first opening statements, and I quote is CM Punk, or not CM Punk, but MJF said that in his
Uh,
4 years working with in AEW, that he has his highest of highs, his lowest of lows. Some of the best moments of his life in AEW, match wise, has come in the worst times at the same. So if you really think about it, he's they put this character, the how they were saying is that he's this great on the mic with a Burberry scarf.
yeah.
It, and then like they're sitting back saying like this gimmick and that gimmick, but then at the same time, you know Chris Jericho gets involved. I guess not even 24 hours prior to the match with him and Samoa Joe in his hometown, and I guess Christmas Eve, Jericho at 4:22 in the morning sends a tweet out that really
Yeah,
starts the fucking shit. Like literally, it's like, dude, it's Christmas Eve, literally, and you're on at 4:22 in the morning, and you happen to start shit with people because the lawyer sits there and says he knows this, but yet you say you're in the room for Brawl Out with Lucy, which is Ace Steel's wife,
yeah,
and uh, Stephen P. News saying that you have an NDA when Jericho saying I've never had an NDA in my 4 years at AEW, and I've never had an NDA ever in my wrestling career. Because Stephen P. New is saying that CM Punk and they still have a lifetime NDA that was signed. And it's like, well, how does that work? And then supposedly Stephen P. New says that, oh, it's in your employee handbook. And Chris Jericho's like, what handbook? I've never had one in my life, especially when when I'm in AEW. And he said, well, we'll figure that out. So, I mean, well,
Chris,
from what Solo Monster said, it was 4:22 in the morning. He
yeah,
read the script off of
yeah,
it.
yeah. I seen it was like 4 something in the morning.
Right.
So.
No, it's just a really crazy story. And then, the whole incident of, the Kylie Ray, why she quit AEW because supposedly Chris, you know, Jericho pretty much, ard her or sexually assaulted her, or because supposedly the story goes is he goes and asks her to come up to the room because there's supposed to be a whole bunch of other people up there with him. She comes up there, she thinks it's a meeting. She comes up there and it's just him and her. And we don't know all the details, but I mean, obviously the girl's out of AEW. What Stephen P. News said, and I quote, this girl just quitted on the hottest federation in wrestling right now. For what reason? And then I guess there was a tweet that said something about
Yeah.
uh is
Well,
it was another female wrestler that said can we start talking about Chris Jericho again or allegations, and then Kylie Ray put a heart emoji, and people are getting speculation and all that. It's really crazy to be honest with you, because me personally, I had no fucking clue of this until literally like maybe an hour, maybe like a couple hours ago, when Casey hit me up and told me about this. I'm like, the fuck?
yeah, I told him there was allegations at first. Uh, Grant, like I said before, that it was me, Kratos, and Rose we talk about. We didn't talk about it a lot. There was
Right,
still not a lot of information came out. We heard about this spat between, um, oh gosh, with the lawyer and Chris Jericho,
right,
and they assumed Chris Jericho was drunk, and it was 4 o'clock on Christmas Day, so
mm.
it was drunk. But
I mean, who knows?
yeah, but I said this on Rose channel, saying that, well, all we know from the statement that she just went to his room and I guess he made a pass at her. I'm like,
A
well,
pass,
like,
quote unquote.
pretty much, and we were talking about it, it's like, and that's it. It's like, you don't, that's not illegal. Unless he said something very sexual, like
Hmm.
trying, like trying to get her to have sex or or he tried to force himself on her. I mean, they didn't
I
say,
don't know. With that big old beer belly, he probably could have. Probably would
but
have squished her.
I mean, they just said that she said that he said something and she freaked. I'm like, and I would like to know, like, I I'm wondering if she actually is under an NDA from Chris Jericho, and if she,
That's another thing. That's a good point you just brought up, Casey. Because Stephen P. knew. He even said, and I don't know this lawyer. I just know Jim Cornette promotes him all the time. But I guess Jericho blocked him because he
yeah,
said, "Well, how about the other people that you make them sign NDAs?"
no,
That's fucking.
actually, it was another dude. It was a wrestling reporter said that it was one of those ones that is kind of reliable, but he was saying, "Oh, what about all the NDAs you make other people sign?" And then he got blocked from
Oh, you
Jericho.
mean Rip Robertson? That's what the his name is. Because that's who had Ace Steel's lawyer. That's how they found out that CM Punk and Ace Steel's lawyer was Stephen P. News, was because he went on the podcast and pretty much said, "I'm representative of CM Punk and Ace Steel,"
You know
which
what? Oh, I'm the Kratos. If you want to join, I believe I sent you the link earlier today. It's still good. So, I believe I sent it to you. So if you want to join us, I mean, he's bringing up all this stuff, saying that
yeah,
he talked about it, watch along, and I was
a
doing
watch
during.
along.
I assume he's talking about more reaction, but then Kratos says that she was a former. Oh, that's right.
See,
Uh,
I don't know any of this. I'm just, I'm
I,
literally learning it all right today. Like, I mean,
well, I don't know her drug history, so that's
yeah, that's
news.
purely speculation.
Yeah, that's news to me. But
Right.
give me a second. Let me uh take over for a second while I'll
Of
send it.
course. No, but like in reality though, this is a crazy story that's going on, and it's like somebody that's watched Chris Jericho pretty much his whole entire life, from the WCW days until now. It's just this is crazy. Like I wouldn't think Jericho would be like that. I mean, yeah, do wrestlers and female wrestlers have sex? Yeah, most of the time, yeah, because think about it. You're on the road 300 days out of the year. So, yeah, of course you get lonely. Why do you think most wrestlers, if they're married, they're together in the companies or they have times that are that close together? But like the old days, the old like touring days with like WWF and WCW, like there was a lot of guys that would cheat on their wives, or a couple of the female wrestlers that were there at those points, they would cheat on their husbands. Hell, look at Sonny.
Yeah,
Cheated on Chris Candido constantly. Dude, he was the biggest cuck there was in the
Yeah, the
wrestling
biggest in
business.
the locker room, but he couldn't voice it because of the fact that she was sleeping with Michaels at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Michaels was the
And
fucking
Davy Boy.
champion, and he was fucking the body Donnas at the very bottom of the bottom feeder.
He was the cuck of the Bonnie Donnas. Let's just
Well,
get
yeah,
that
of
out of the
course.
way.
Let's be honest. So, hell, even the fucking whatchamacallit, what the hell was the Cowboys? What was the cowboy gimmick?
oh, Hangman.
No, 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 no. The cowboy gimmick that fucking they had.
Bart Gunn and Billy Gunn?
Oh, okay, maybe that's it. Okay, never mind. The
Yeah, that's
Blackjacks.
not
No,
that's
no.
that's
I
the Gunn
thought
brothers or something.
no. That was the Blackjacks that I'm thinking
Oh,
of. It
the
was
Blackjacks,
with
damn.
yeah with
Barry Windham and Bradshaw.
yeah the new Blackjacks. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, them.
Yeah.
Bam brings up a good point. Like, why would
And he's
he?
also married too.
Well, a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of them were. Yeah,
Jericho's
but
also
Jericho is
married.
married, right? Jericho's still married,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, his
Jer-
wife
So
was
pretty much he
apparently
just
at
committed
January 6th, and
adultery.
he gets triggered when anyone mentions the word January to him.
Okay,
alle-
so he oh yeah, allegedly. So technically he committed adultery, and this young girl that's like 21, I think that's how old Kylie Ray is. She's a young little
He's like
thing.
mid-20s
She's
at this
young,
point,
yeah.
mid to late 20s.
Yeah, the point of the matter is this girl literally quits on the job because the biggest dude, he pretty much pulled a Hulk Hogan. Let's be honest
I
here.
mean, he pulled it twice. Let's be fair. Once in the locker room, allegedly with Kylie Ray, and on air with Paige Van Zant because she had an OnlyFans account.
Now, see, now that's something I've never heard of. This is speculation. I've never heard this.
Paige Van Zant is a UFC
Yeah,
fighter.
I know who she
That,
is,
yeah.
but I didn't hear about Jericho trying to sleep with her because I know her husband would have knocked him the fuck out. I've seen her husband. He's a
Who?
big
Paige Van
motherfucker.
Zant?
Yeah.
He said on the live mic that Paige Van, just because she had an OnlyFans, she wants to get it on. He made allegations that she wants to get it on with the Jericho Appreciation Society. I'm like, that's not gonna
What?
sit well with her. That's not gonna sit well with her. So she
Wow.
left the
That
company
yeah.
afterward, right after that promo was aired on Dark of all places. She left the
Wow.
company.
agree with Bam on this because,
But
like,
yeah, what did he say?
like he said, why would Jericho need to bang her? He can get better whores than her.
I mean, he makes a good point.
I mean,
I mean, I'm not gonna front, but yeah, jeez.
but
That's yeah, because I mean, think about it. Who on the AEW roster do you think is better looking than Kylie Ray? I mean, Kylie Ray, she was in
Tony Storm.
NWA for the longest time. She wasn't. No, Tony Storm's not that good looking.
I mean,
well,
she's good looking from like the bottom half.
Yeah,
Let's
her
just say
ass. That's about
that's
it.
my point.
Right.
if,
But I'm thinking like who's somebody
Sky
that
blue,
is really hot? Who?
let's
sky
let,
blue.
well,
Yeah,
hold,
maybe.
well,
What?
let's go back where when AEW began because that's when she
Britt
came in.
Baker. You would
But,
think. You would
oh,
think Britt Baker would be someone he would try to bang out because she's a top fucking AEW star. And I mean, think about it. Adam fucking Cole, he's a fucking pussy. He weighs 125 pounds soaking wet. He would get
I
his ass
I
beat real
guarantee it's
quick.
about 210 soaking wet.
yeah,
Uh,
He's skinny, but like he probably is about 210 soaking wet.
but I
yeah.
think he could kick his ass, but I'm sure some of his buddies would gang up on him or something.
I guarantee you, if someone said this, if Jericho said the same thing to Ronda Rousey, Travis Brown would have jumped him by now.
Who
Oh
would
yeah,
fucking want to fuck Ronda Rousey? God,
That's
she's
my point.
ugly.
I
That's
think
my
she's
point. If he said the same thing to Ronda Rousey that he said to Paige Van Zant, Travis Brown would have jumped him in the parking lot by now, like Nate Diaz jumps random people in the streets for
but
looking like Logan Paul.
Right?
thing is, I think a lot of this shit got blown up. All we heard of is this freaking statement that about she went to his dressing room and he made a pass, like, and everyone's losing their shit, like they didn't say he didn't do anything else except made a pass at her. Like, I'm not trying to victim shame the her, but she didn't. Right, I think she had signed an NDA, and if she did not sign an NDA, and if Jericho's completely innocent, she really needs to say, "Hey, he didn't do anything. I just decided to leave." But
You do realize that most people don't admit that, female or not, they don't admit that until years later
well,
when it comes to
I'm
like celebrities.
just saying that if it was just let's just say like um, that statement was false, and where this has got to get back to her. There's no way in the wrestling world that she has not heard about this story right now. What's
She's
going
the
on?
center of it at this point. She might as well have heard about it by this point.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
like,
Bam the Hey Diaz thing is just a joke. Okay, it's just a joke.
but I mean, but let's say it's even the indie show. I think she was with Impact for a while, but
She was.
um,
She was also in one of the Mae Young Classics, I believe, as well.
but someone would say, "Hey, there's some stuff going around with your name tied to it. Like, what's going on?" Or it's like, so she's got to be tied up with an NDA. And
I mean,
honestly,
she has to be.
I hate to make it sound horrible, but if this was something really bad, like yeah, if let's say uh a woman that I was not attracted to, that let's just say she grabbed me by the balls or something, and I'm like, I made a kind of like say, hey, she did this, but I'm like, I'm not going to report her, but they're like, well, just sign this NDA. So, uh, because if it's like, they give me some money and it wasn't really that much of a big deal, that if it was a huge deal, I would call the police, right? It's kind of like
Hmm.
how Tommy, I mean, some people hate this uh, version, but back when Dark Side of the Ring with Tommy Dreamer with well, it was the plane ride from hell with the
And
whole
he
thing.
said someone got offended by Ric Flair doing the helicopter and all that shit.
Yeah, like if she was so offended and hurt that she should have went to the police instead of taking the payday. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he was a
definitely.
little cold, but I could see what he was talking about though too, because like it wasn't too offensive that they didn't want to call the cops on the person, but they did.
I mean,
Some
WWE was the only big name in town for wrestling. You really want to call the cops on some of the biggest names on the company for just one plane ride gone wrong? You would have. That's career suicide by then.
well, with Tommy Dreamer, he did nothing on that thing.
Exactly, but like calling the cops on the people at the time for what they did on a plane, that'd be career suicide, and everybody would have had NDAs. Dark Side of the
That's
Ring episode or not, everybody would have been signed an NDA.
well, I guarantee if that happened nowadays, they would have. I'm sure they. I wonder how uh, if they knew about an NDA beforehand. But
I
I
mean,
mean,
they had to have known because Vince McMahon that seems to be his go-to with half his women's roster
well,
when in the 90s and 80s.
but I mean, you figure with the plane ride with hell, with how much shit that happened, you figure everyone would be like, all right, like you were involved with this, you had a little trouble, no, caused a little trouble. We're not gonna pay you jack shit because you caused trouble, but
Hmm.
you signed an NDA, so you don't talk about it, and we're gonna have the victims sign an NDA. But
Or sign a gag order,
yeah,
which is the same thing because
pretty much.
they did the same thing with Deborah. They did the
Yeah.
same thing with Deborah
Oh
until she
yeah.
mentioned on Fox News after she's gone from the company that Stone Cold hit her 3 times when they were
Yeah.
married.
That's why there's very unlikely any reason you'll ever see her in the Hall of Fame
I
because
mean, I think she is in the Hall of Fame at this
no,
point, isn't she?
No, not yet.
Really?
Just like Mongo's not in the fucking WWE Hall of Fame.
He's
That's the
not that
weirdest
old.
thing.
You think he would already be in?
See, that's the weirdest thing is because coming from a WCW guy myself, when I seen Deborah in wrestling, I saw her with the Four Horsemen with Mongo McMichael because
Mm-hmm.
she was Queen Deborah of WCW, and she'd always come
Yep.
out with Mongo in the fucking briefcase and the Bears jacket and all
Briefcase
that.
full
I
of
didn't even
money. I
know,
remember.
dude. I never knew her and fucking Austin were ever married. I knew it was her and Mongo that were married. That was fucking
I
news to
yeah,
me.
that was a thing in the invasion angle. They apparently got married around that time because they
Hmm.
kept saying on commentary that Deborah was Stone Cold's wife going into WrestleMania 17.
Hmm.
Got part.
That's odd.
That's funny. I had to bring that up, but no, I now think about it, Deborah. She actually did have a kind of a career because yeah, she was with Mongo, who was part of the Four Horsemen. Then she was
And she
part of
was with Jeff Jarrett
Jeff
in both
Jarrett
companies.
slash Owen Hart too. You know.
Jeff Jarrett on Hart, that tag team. I remember that.
Then also with Stone Cold. Then for a cup of coffee with The Rock during the whole thing when it
Mania
uh
17, yeah.
yeah. It-
When they
but
were under a no contact clause.
yeah.
So he
So
gave her a rock bottom for her troubles.
but but yeah, I'm just saying if Kylie Ray didn't sign an NDA and it was not really that bad, she really needed to say, hey, I mean, it wasn't that bad. He just made a play and I just
He's just letting this stew at this point. Like all this speculation is because she quoted a Chris Jericho allegations tweet with a heart emoji. That's what all this sparked from in the end, with
honestly.
her doing a heart emoji as a quote for Chris Jericho allegations.
And you know what? It wasn't like recently. It was back in 2020. That was almost 4 years ago now.
Exactly my point.
So I'm like if it was a big deal, I mean, yes, there's some
It
stuff
would
that
fall in the statute of limitations, possibly if it was
uh,
assault or anything like the R word. Yes, it would fall under the statute of limitations because she's got 3 more years to tell that story before there's to get more evidence on that. But
I
once
don't
those
know
7 years
that
are up, she's
I don't
screwed,
I
for
don't
lack of
know
a better word.
that is, but like I'm but I'm just saying some of the bigger names that just came out, like, dude, look at Bill Cosby. That no, like there was rumblings of something, and then like what?
Some of those people did lie on the stand to get him in jail. That's why it was
Yeah,
let out so quickly.
but how many of them? Like he even did a comedy bit about drugging women. So he was to the bit that he was really a monster. So like, do I think it's possible what Jericho did make it past and she freaked out? Yeah. I mean, I can't put anything by anyone nowadays, especially after the whole Gerard, the completionist scandal with the charity fraud thing that
Mm-hmm.
happened.
Yep.
Right? So I'm like, and I was a huge fan of him. I would never thought he would be in some type of controversy. And
Yep.
look at Jericho. He's a big name of wrestling. If let's say this blows
The
over,
one man in the American promotions to claim that can hold the candle that he wrestled at least 30 years as a in the U.S. He's been wrestling since like I think this is his 30th year of wrestling now.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, he
Yeah,
was wrestling in Canada, Japan.
Canada, New Japan
Japan.
into the Lionheart gimmick. You know, a lot of his gimmicks, a lot of the gimmicks for like some of these old wrestlers are their old WCW gimmicks for AEW. The
Pretty
Natural,
much.
Dustin Rhodes, was his original WCW gimmick.
No, he had too many gimmicks over in fucking WCW. Literally, he had
But
7.
the one memorable one is his first one as the Natural.
Well,
Right.
but I mean, his gimmick is Goldust still. I mean, between
Yeah, half Goldust, half Natural, but they call him the Natural on commentary,
well,
and
of
they
course,
announce him as the Natural.
I guarantee you, I'll bet you money if they just called him Dust, they'll be like, they'll freaking get ready to sue AEW for that.
If they called him anything like that, WWE would have sued the company over it.
It was kind of like I remember when Billy Gunn went to TNA. His first name was the New Age Outlaw. I was like,
Oh, you mean the Outlaw?
no, it was the New Age Outlaw, and they set a cease and desist for that.
Seriously, wow.
And then I think they cut it down to Outlaw, and then it
Because I
was
remember it was BG James. And then Kip.
that was Road Dog.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, BG. Yeah, that's
Kip
right.
James was Billy Gunn's real name. Kip
Yeah.
James.
Yeah, Kip James, yes. So
But at least he kept the Billy Gunn name because I guess he owns the rights to that for AEW.
yeah, I think it the time the copyright collapsed
Yeah,
or
he
something.
owns the copyrights for that, I believe, the Billy Gunn gimmick.
And it's smart
I
that Red
mean,
doing that. But going back, it's just I mean, it doesn't shock me if this is true though. Like, uh I mean, look at Jericho. I mean, he's in a band, he's in wrestling.
Hmm.
Like, dude, he's already been married. I think he was married beforehand. I know he's married
I
now.
believe so. Yeah.
And I mean, look at all these wrestlers. A lot of these wrestlers don't stay in the same marriage for that long. I
I don't know.
mean,
Look at Kevin Nash and his wife. They've been together since like the early 90s. And literally,
Yeah.
remember World War III, 96 World War III. He didn't show up because T was getting born, so he left.
well, I mean, there's
Wait, the '96 World War III. I completely forgot he wasn't there.
Yeah, that was in Detroit. That was at the Palace of Auburn Hills. He was supposed to make
Yeah.
an appearance there, and T was born, and he said, "Fuck that! I'm not showing up. My kid's getting born."
I don't blame him. But I
Yeah.
Too
mean,
bad. Too bad. Eric Bischoff couldn't guarantee the same for Dave Malenko when his kid was born in
Oh,
'97, so he
well, yeah.
could
See,
see
that's a big
Darkness.
difference. So you know what I
But then
mean.
again, look at the name value in between both men.
Who has
Kevin
more
Nash.
pull?
Yeah,
but
Kevin Nash has more pull compared to Dave Malenko.
Right.
but there are going to be exceptions to the rule. But I mean, I'm going to say 80% of the men in the wrestling business is going to be unfaithful. They'll go through multiple women. I mean, God,
I
look
mean,
at
look, listen to this. Bea Priestley, aka Blair Davenport of NXT, was one of the names ousted in the Me Too movement. She was screwing Will Ospreay at one point, right? As soon as she was kicked out of United Empire, that was the moment they broke up in real life as well.
but
I don't
As
know.
soon as her
I
name
kind
came
of
up in a Me
I
Too
gotta
movement,
stop that. I gotta stop with that comment right there.
go ahead.
I like Dean Malenko, to be honest with you. I like the Iceman, the man of 1,000 holds. I mean, I've seen him wrestle live when at WCW. I thought he was a good wrestler. I seen him
Mhm.
and Benoit wrestle fucking 20 minutes on Nitro.
I,
well,
I I remember some of those matches too. I've been catching up on some reliving the war episodes that are like very had some very good Malenko matches on them.
Yeah.
definitely WCW Malenko, WWF.
I mean, let's be
Uh,
honest with you. They buried him. Anybody that came over from WCW, they buried. Malenko will always be a
Exactly.
WCW guy.
yeah, Chris Benoit. I mean,
Benoit will
before.
always be a WCW guy
Benoit
too.
joined the WWF because he was afraid of Kevin Sullivan's booking because of who he was married, because who his ex-wife was, which was his current wife in Nancy at
Right,
the time.
right.
He was afraid Sullivan would bury him after he won the world title at what was it?
It was
Sold Out
no
2000.
uh yeah yeah
Benoit won.
The
Benoit
a
won.
day later he left. The day
Sorry,
after he won that title, he was on Raw. He was on the
but
next flight to Raw to sit in the audience.
yeah, all four of them:
Yep.
Benoit, Malenko, Guerrero, and Saturn.
Yep.
but like they kind of gave push to Benoit and Eddie. If you think about it, I mean, Eddie was in
Eddie,
the
well, not really, because Benoit got hurt back at King of the Ring not 01 in that triple
Yeah.
threat match.
Raw.
And he wasn't seen on TV again until after the brand split was done and over with in
See, that
2000.
would have been interesting. That would have been interesting factor to think about. Like, you know how the whole invasion angle happened. You
Mm-hmm.
think about it. If Malenko, Triple H, Benoit, and all these other guys that may have not been there, where do you think? I mean, I know Triple H. Obviously, he's WWF. He's going to go, and he would probably would wrestle for Team WWF. But
Mm-hmm.
Benoit and Malenko, I'm curious, would they go to the WCW or would they be a part of Team WWF? That's the real question.
Yeah, good question indeed. You just have to remember, Guerrero Eddie was hurt before the invasion angle happened as well.
Right, right.
Yeah, but he still fought. He still fought until like he was doing the whole. He he did like a couple matches and then he got hurt. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hurt on a random ass SmackDown.
but uh, I think we need to get back to the topic. So, I really
Yeah.
think like this whole allegation got blown out of proportion. I mean, there's no evidence to anything right now because, um, unlike the whole thing with seeing Punk in the back stage with the whole uh brawl out, and then the whole thing with right after no right before his match at All In, and
Yeah, the brawl-in situation,
yeah,
as
where
Cap put it.
where the, I mean, there's a lot of people could speculate on this. Only two people could tell you right now what really happened in that room is Jericho and her, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's hearsay either way. Plus, uh,
Plus, if Lucy were to tell the story, it'd be a little bit skewed to make her husband and CM Punk maybe look good, and not
well,
like a full, like unbiased opinion. If it were to go dark side of the ring.
but let me ask you guys. I mean, do you think Tony Khan knew about this and he weighed the options, saying, "Well, she's going to leave the company anyways," and he didn't want to lose Jericho because at that time, yeah, you had the Young Bucks, you had Kenny Omega, and then you had John Moxley. You don't have as a huge roster as the AEW has today. So it's not
Well, you
like,
have to remember at the time, a lot of uh, a lot of the names on their roster were relatively no ones outside of Chris Jericho.
oh yeah, exactly. So
To the
like
American audience, they were all relatively nobodies
they
outside
weren't
of Chris Jericho. And
but
according to a tweet I saw before I left Twitter, he had her sign an NDA because Jericho was the only big star they had, and he was afraid of losing the TNT deal.
well, so so
Allegedly.
see during World's End scrum, someone asked Tony Khan if Chris Jericho was investigated from it for any sexual uh like for anything sexual. And Tony Khan dismissed it, saying he's not going to speculate on internet rumors. So,
Wow.
so like, I mean, did Tony Khan knew, or did he knew it was that big of a deal? Especially when she signed an NDA. If she signed an NDA, it was not that bad to the point that she wasn't going to report Chris Jericho to the news or to the cops. So, I mean, I I think this
If
will
she signed
eventually.
an NDA, she can't even report him to the cop,
Well, because
as far as I know.
we already made a deal. I mean, it's like something that you worked it out between the two parties. Like you, when you sign the NDA, especially if something happens to you and they're like, "Hey, sign this," you're gonna get some money for it. Like they're gonna write you a check.
Mm-hmm.
So you either sign that thing and then you get a check and you have to zip it, or you have the option to talk or report that. So if she could have took the money, and like, I'm not trying to victim shame her. I mean, if she was harassed or assaulted, uh,
Mm-hmm.
she would just report him to the cops instead of having this like swept under the rug. But if it was where she just felt uncomfortable, I'm just wondering how bad it is. And the only person, well, actually, only Chris Jericho can really talk about it, unless he signed an NDA, even though he said he never signed one, or Tony Khan.
I want to
But
know this for a fact. Who actually is there even an NDA there? Like, because from what I hear, Tony Khan, he supposedly says there's no NDAs in AEW. There, it's free range. You can do what you want. It's a quote unquote safe company. That's what I don't get.
well,
So
that false statement, because we know that's not true, because we knew CM Punk and Ace Steel had NDAs for Brawlout. And not only that, the Elite was at the same thing too. No one could talk about anything. That's why they can't even, before CM Punk got fired, they couldn't even do an angle around it, because if they did, they had to waive the whole thing with all those NDAs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they didn't want to deal with it. That was Tony Khan's way around everything. Is, hey, you signed that. We're gonna say it's cool now, and instead of you know getting the two parties in the room and with Tony Khan and the lawyer and saying, hey, all right, let's talk this out. What's going to happen? He's like, but he'll have his lawyers have these people sign NDAs all day long. But
I'm curious of with this
uh-oh.
whole allegations and speculations and all, because right now this is all purely speculation. Let's be honest here. Because no one's going to jail for this. Nobody's saying this or that. Nothing's happening. So it's all purely speculation on everybody's part. There's no court of shit that's going on. There's no jail time. There's no any of this. It's all rumor and innuendo. Let's be honest. We
It's
don't know.
like,
Nobody knows any of this. Like this like Jericho could have been drunk when he wrote this on Twitter.
oh,
Like you were saying.
I'll bet money you was. But see, the thing is, I'm like, this is like you said, speculation. There's no evidence, unless she, Kylie Ray wants to say, no, this did not happen, or yes, it did happen, or Jericho. But
Right,
right
people are
now,
blowing this way out of proportion.
people are feeding into it, because, especially the fans. because during All Out, I mean not All Out, at World's End, they booed the shit out of Jericho like he's automatically guilty. Like, see, that's the thing with all these ledge. When someone gets a false allegation to them, they're almost automatically guilty in the court of the court of
Yeah,
public.
Court of Appeal.
Yeah.
Pretty much like they were comparing Chris Jericho to Harvey Weinstein. That's who fucking Stephen P. New was saying. Is that they were trying to make him out to be like the boogeyman, that he's just out there pinning all these women down and sexually assaulting them, and it's like, you don't know this for sure. Nobody knows. Nobody was in that hotel room. No one knows what happened.
And if it even did happen,
If it, yeah, exactly. Purely speculation. If it even happened, I mean, we don't know if Jericho did anything to her. We had no one knows. I mean, he could have said, "Yeah, you look like shit out there," and she could have said, "Well, do you think I really belong here?" And he'd probably say, "Maybe." And maybe she said, "Well, I'm fucking done." Maybe, you don't know. No one knows. You can't just say this happened or this happens. That's what these fucking internet marks fucking talk about. If you really think about it. Like fucking Sean's view. He's sitting there every 10 minutes fucking blowing up something saying, "Oh, WWE's buying TNA." No. I heard there's a partnership going on with like wrestlers. That's what I was hearing. It's just all rumors like that too.
I'm hearing that the whole thing was false. Like, but I just started hearing about this before we even talked about this today.
Right.
But see, the thing is, I don't think Jericho's going to talk about this. Obviously, he's probably talked to his lawyer, and his lawyer said, "Just shut the fuck up."
Pretty
Like,
much. I
don't.
mean, think about it. Jericho even said it on fucking I think it was Twitter or his podcast that he has. He told Stephen P. News to shut his fucking Mark mouth up, or shut the fuck up, you fucking Mark. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well,
I mean, that's what I heard from Solid Monster. The Just to let you know, people, everything that I'm saying is pretty much what Solid Monster said. Because Casey sent me the video, so I'm sitting here and iterating pretty much everything that was said on the streams. Because that's the only facts I have to back me up. And
it's not only he said that, because I follow Solid Monster, and I heard the same story from other sources too.
right,
So it's not just him saying that same thing. Jericho
right,
did tell him to shut his Mark ass up.
right.
So, but
But let's
and
be
no,
honest here. You can't. That word has been blown out of proportion so fucking much. Calling it someone a mark. Guess what? Everyone's a fucking mark. Wrestlers are fucking marks. They live on planet bullshit. They're fucking marks for themselves.
I mean, it's their version of it's their word to tear someone down.
Yeah,
So,
but why is it that we have to tear people down by using a word that, guess what? You were a kid and you watched professional wrestling and now you're a wrestler. Guess what? You're a fucking mark.
exactly.
So that word just needs to be exalted. I mean, I understand we have these fat neckbeards. Yes, those are fucking marks. But not everybody that watches wrestling is a fucking mark.
But I was going to bring this. I was like, so I don't think Jericho is going to talk about this. And if Kylie Ray is under NDA, she's not going to talk about it. If she does, unless she defends Chris Jericho, even though that might definitely avoid that NDA. But I mean, I think that's the only way she could say anything if she defends Jericho. If not, it's probably she. If she said anything else, she would definitely break that NDA.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, we don't know what is going on. We don't know what really happened. We don't know if Jericho sexually assaulted her or just had a conversation with her or made a pass. We don't know. We have no clue. I wish everybody would stop blowing it out of proportion, because what if he didn't? Then you're making him out to be like a Harvey Weinstein. Because if say she doesn't have a NDA, right?
Yeah,
And she can fully come out and say, this and that,
we
and it
don't
never
know.
happened. Right.
We're assuming she is because she hadn't said jack.
Well,
So
yeah, but let's not forget that, Ace Steele's wife, Lucy, she doesn't have an NDA.
yeah, I mean, but I mean, I'm sure she's probably not going to want to do that. I'm sure she's not going to say anything because
Yeah, true.
ACL signed one. Plus, you want if to have your husband to work again, then you can't say, "Well, my wife is going to rat you out if you do something like that." But so I don't see her saying anything. But um, like I'm not trying to defend Jericho, but there was just not enough evidence to go one way or another. I mean, like I brought up about Gerard the completionist when there was so much evidence of this dude holding funds from in his charity account that he's
Hmm.
been holding for 10 years, and there was public paper, tax paper, saying, yeah, he didn't donate shit for 10 years. And it made him look so bad. And then there's a freaking phone call between three people, and it just made him look even worse. Like, because he was spilling more information that he
Hmm.
shouldn't. It was dumb enough to say out loud. So
It's crazy to think. It's like, I don't know, man.
it's like I said, we didn't talk about a lot of this on uh I guess no, it was Monday. We didn't start hearing this information until Monday. So
Hmm.
yeah, because we did less than serious on Monday instead. But and that's why I was gonna want to do it on Tuesday because I thought Tuesday was Monday because I was off
Hmm.
3 days. So I was like, hey, I want to talk about this because
Right.
there's more information. And then there's still stuff coming out that Stephen P. News, he's he went back on a podcast. He talked about it, the situation, what happened, and now he's kind of like skirting it a little bit now, where he's like, "Well, I didn't say that he did anything like that, and I didn't specifically say it was this woman." So he's trying to keep himself from getting being hit for slander
No,
because
I mean, I understand.
so I mean hope hopefully it's not real. Hopefully it's not true because it would suck to have another person's legacy tarnished for something stupid.
I
And
mean, yeah, I mean, how do we know this isn't all just a work?
oh well, it's possible
I mean, come on,
because
think about it. This is professional wrestling. Like even Tony Schiavone said, everything in the wrestling business is a fucking work. Until he knows otherwise, that somebody that's not a work, it's a work.
see, here's the thing. I'm wondering why is this lawyer on a podcast, by the way? Because you figure he was like, well, I defended Ace Steel and CM Punk, and they're on lifetime NDAs from AEW for the Brawl Out, and the only person it doesn't is And why I don't know why he would bring this up, saying, "Hey, Ace Steel's wife is the only one in the room doesn't have an NDA." Like, why did he bring that up? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, it was just stupid. Like, I think this lawyer is not that smart as he think he is, because you figure with all this information, you would just shut the fuck up. You don't say anything about this. You don't show up on it. I mean, look at the only lawyer is. I mean, I was kind of shocked when was it Jarrett McDevitt, the one who represent WWE forever, showed up on
Yeah,
Dark Side of the Ring, and like I was kind of shocked, but um, maybe there was some stuff that he could say, but I'm shocked that he did it because he was still working for WWE at that time, and WWE hated Dark Side of the Ring.
even
But
though they were Dark Side of the Ring was paying them a buttload of money because they used footage.
they used some footage. Well, there's some. Well, there's fair use. You could use like a certain amount of clips, unless you're gonna show longer than like 5 seconds or 5 to 10 seconds. Then you had to get permission. That's why,
Hmm.
like on YouTube, like if you're gonna show a clip, it has to be under like 10 seconds, or
Hmm.
probably even safer to go under 5. So, even though it's you figure it should be under fair use if you're using it as a point of reference, But
Yeah,
it's
because if think about it this way, that Bash at the Beach, that's strictly WWE. They own everything that's WCW, just like Collision and Collision in Korea. They own that as well, even though it's co-partnered with New Japan Pro Wrestling and
yeah.
WCW. It's still WWE owns half of that thing. I
But did
mean,
they actually use any footage from that thing?
yeah, they
Because
did.
I mean, they show pictures of them, being in Korea, but I don't even remember them showing footage of the event.
Oh, I
And did-
remember. I watched anything that Dark Side of the Ring had that was WCW related wise. That was either Benoit or the Korea show or fucking Bash at the Beach 2000. You can clearly see they use the WWE stuff, even though it doesn't say in the corner or anything like copyright WWE. It doesn't say anything like that. It's like, well, technically you're supposed to, by law, because if unless they didn't give you permission, you can't use footage. I mean, that's why
I
someone had to pay them money. Let's be honest. WWE's getting money.
No, yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm just saying if they were smart enough, they would do it under a certain amount of time frame, or show just still frames. Eh,
I mean,
But I'm just wondering if we're going to see any more updates. But I wouldn't doubt it. This is probably where it's going to end, unless that uh, Jericho does some drunk tweeting like on Christmas morning, um, or that lawyer keeps going on that podcast. So,
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, because to be honest with you, like, when did all this news come out? I'm just curious. Do you know by chance?
well, the tweeting started like before Christmas, and
Right.
they were starting to, hearing rumblings about this, and Salt Monster brought up a good point. If he didn't drunk tweet anything, he none of this would have came out, because Jericho had to put his foot in his mouth.
Right.
So And sometimes, I mean, people shoot themselves in the foot every
Well,
once
that's
in a
what
while.
alcohol will do to you. It's a truth serum, you know. It might be liquid courage for you to hit on chicks, but at the same time, or to fight somebody, but at the same time, it's the truth serum, and pretty much it can get people in the world of shit that you fucking didn't really want to say, but oops, it happened because you're under the influence, but
Yep.
you did it
And
to
well,
yourself.
and Jericho was well known as being he drinks. So, like, not
Hmm.
saying wrong with that,
Hmm.
but well known he drinks. So, I mean,
Obviously, look at the beer belly.
he's still in pretty good shape, though.
He's got
Like
a
he's
he's got a father. He's got a 50-year-old father's beer belly. Let's get that. Let's get it straight. He's got a beer
well,
keg of a stomach.
no, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, he's not chiseled anymore, but like I, it's not like he. I hate to bring this up. It's not like he's Eddie Kingston, beer belly. I mean, God, when I see Eddie Kingston, and like I'm a big fan too, so but like when you're wearing a singlet, uh, and like you're wearing pants, and you have a singlet for a top, and your gut goes over the pants, like like his gimmick's good, but like it just bothers me. Like Eddie, please get in shape. Like you're a
Well, think about it,
professional.
Kevin Owens too. He's really fat too. Why do you think he wears
Well,
t-shirts?
um, at least he doesn't do it like that, where it's so obvious how fat he is. Like it's not as like you can see his belly that good, you know. And like Lisa Mojo, like it's his gimmick and stuff. Like not everyone has to be skinny.
Hmm.
Eddie Kingston is like one of those people. He thinks he's strong style because he was in Japan. But what do
Hmm.
I know? But
Who knows? I mean, to be honest with it, like most of these AEW wrestlers, I wouldn't know they were in a different promotion unless I seen them on AEW. Like the people that they bring in, if they're not from WWE, then I wouldn't even know who they were. Like especially these Japanese wrestlers they bring in, wouldn't know who the fuck they were.
yeah, see, that's the one thing with AEW. Like, yes, there's a lot of people who watch AEW who watch New Japan, but I don't. So a lot of times they'll bring in these Japanese wrestlers. Like, I don't know who they are. Like, at least give us some snippet. Like, some.
Well, you should know who Kenta is. He was Hideo Itami on WWE.
Oh yeah,
That's
but
about
I mean,
it, though. That's about it
but,
when it
but
comes
when
to
they
Japanese stars in AEW.
but when they bring these people from New Japan, we don't know who the hell they are. Um,
Maybe Kota Ibushi from the
yeah.
Cruiserweight Classic. But anybody hear about him getting injured? Yes, last night.
Nope.
Mm.
I watched New Year's Evil. I didn't see anybody about
No,
that. I didn't hear
I'm
anything.
talking about Kota Ibushi. He's serious. He might be seriously injured because he wrestled a 33-minute match with a broken ankle.
No
I
clue.
No clue. I mean, I seen a
It
picture.
was reported this morning, like he was wrestling at a Japanese promotion with a broken ankle for 33 minutes. I'm like, you fucking idiot.
Answered this, EJ. Even though it's not the topic. Well, the Rock being on Monday.
I mean, we knew
We
about this
talked a little bit
situation
off
already.
camera about it on LTS, but that's neither here or there.
But let's
It's
be
nothing.
honest, though. We already knew this scenario was going to happen with The Rock coming back and he wanted to fight Roman Reigns. We talked about this last year.
I Like, I'm sure people think he's gonna fight the Rock. I mean Roman at WrestleMania. If this,
Some people wanted an elimination chamber personally, but I don't see that main event in elimination chamber because
I
a news outlet in Australia already said that's going to Rhea Ripley's main eventing the elimination chamber.
I put it at the
That
Royal
was
Rumble.
put out last year in November.
That's fine. I mean, that's why I would put it at the Royal Rumble because I mean Royal Rumble
That
is
would
gonna
make
be
the
at
triple threat on Friday pointless then as well.
what?
The triple threat on Friday, which is to crown the number one contender for Roman. AJ, Randy, and LA Knight.
Oh,
That's the main event.
oh, that's a great point. Uh, I hope. See, I don't want to see The Rock see to fight Roman belt. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that at WrestleMania, but without the title, because if you're gonna have the title on Roman, you know what's gonna happen. Roman's gonna retain because The Rock's not
Mm-hmm.
going to defend it. So
Well, we
And
don't
if The
know
Rock
this.
does win the title from Roman,
you know
it's
what?
basically another situation of what CM Punk did when he was a champion for over a year. He's going to hold the title for a short amount of time before dropping it to another person or dropping it back to Roman for shits and giggles to piss off the audience.
Well, I have two ideas what could have happened. They could do what they did back at WrestleMania 27, where they teased it between The Rock and Cena, and like, nope, that was Cena and The Miz, and The Rock was, I guess, the referee. No, he
No,
was
Rock
the
was the host of that Mania.
yeah.
It started off with a double count out. Then it ended with Miz retaining after Cena ate a rock bottom, and then Miz ate a rock bottom after he won.
And then the whole year was promoting for next year, so I could
Yep.
see that next year, or they'll have
But still,
Rock.
that would defeat the purpose of the story for Roman being God mode if he weren't the champion going into next year's Mania. That would defeat the whole purpose because then the Bloodline story is pretty much over with if he loses the titles to Cody at Mania if they go that route.
Well, because I was thinking maybe they can hype it for a year, like the whole Cena and Rock. I think,
It's been hyped up for way too long, and it's been waiting. It's been on ice for way too long. Hell, it's supposed to happen at Mania. It was supposed to happen at last year's Mania, and the deal fell through. It was supposed to happen at Mania 38, fell through,
well, my
and we got Brock versus Roman for the God knows how many times with the unification match.
my other solution is um they could have it hyping it for SummerSlam because
That would
by then
also defeat the purpose.
no, because I mean the oh god, the bloodline story still run till then. He just
Mm-hmm.
won't belt because Cody's gonna win the belt at WrestleMania.
I mean,
But
it might as well be a given. It might as well be a given at this point because if he doesn't win at Mania, you pretty much screwed Cody over again.
yeah, but that's another story, another day. I mean, we could talk about our
We could talk
prediction.
about that up and down for the next hour, but I ain't
I
got
mean,
time
that's
for that.
interesting. I'm just interested in all this. I'm like hearing you marks back and forth. It's just like, mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't have enough time. The time, and I won't have enough time to talk about that until like maybe Friday is Raw or something this
So
Friday.
I'm thinking what we could do is our predictions for the Royal Rumble and all the way to WrestleMania. Our predictions. We could do that for Friday as Raw.
We can try. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it
Well, let's think about
because
it
like
this way. We still have fucking Sasha Banks coming back, fucking on the Royal Rumble.
for
I
all
mean,
we
let's
know,
be
she
honest.
could be in AEW for all we know at this point because Allegedly, did you hear about her her contract that she wanted with WWE?
Yeah, well, they said the same thing about CM Punk, and look who's back in WWE.
But
Yeah.
she apparently, allegedly, wanted 100 million over 10 years, which is 10
She
million
wanted
every year.
Charlotte Flair money.
She wanted
And
more than Charlotte Flair money because Charlotte Flair is allegedly making 7 million a year on her current deal now.
where did you hear
Damn.
about that?
Allegedly, it's 7 mil. There's no price tag, but people claim internally it's $7 million. But
Yeah.
Sasha, she wanted more than that at 100 million over 10 years. I'm like, no fucking way.
Honestly,
No
I
fucking way.
Sasha
She
Banks
may be a
has
great she may be a great female wrestler, but nobody's worth 100 million a year in modern day pro wrestling. Nobody.
in the air.
That's what happened with guaranteed contracts. I mean, yet again, you can blame Hall and Nash for this.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Sasha Banks is hot. But honestly, if you ask me, uh, she's already burned WWE so many times where she uh left them where like it was they were the
Or
tag
took a
team
break.
they were the tag team champions at like after WrestleMania and or no they lost the tag team belts. She got upset, left for a little bit, came
She
back.
lost them to the Iconics. What did you think was going to happen? Her and Bailey lost those belts to the Iconics, who did nothing with them other than wrestle Job Squad women.
But she left them, and then I'm sure there's some spats that, and then this whole thing when she left them again, and this time they've been gone for a year and a half, and honestly, there's some bad, uh, you know, feelings. I mean, there's some bad things with her too. I mean, look, she's very stuck up. I mean, dude, look at her when she was at those Comic Cons. She'll be like have the men like 5, 6 feet away from them taking the picture, and this is right after the whole the pandemic was over. So I'm
Well,
like,
she knows her worth, but like I'm not going up to a New York Comic Con and spending 30 grand just to get a picture with her. Not happening.
well,
I'm not
no,
spending 30 grand for a picture with her. No.
it'd be $90.
Or that one thing with the fucking remember it went viral with her meeting a fan, and I guess he
He
said
asked
something
her
to
about
her,
like
and then she flipped the fuck out on him and was being a fucking she was being a real cunt. It's like,
yeah, she's like, were you in
yeah,
the room at the time? Then shut your mouth. I'm like, what the fuck? He just asked me
right.
what?
She's known like being that. I can understand being an
She's a
airport.
spoiled millennial. Let's be honest with it. She's a spoiled millennial that fucking thinks everything's owed to her in life. That she doesn't have to do anything. That, oh, my pussy don't stink, so I can do what the fuck I want. And I'm this and that. It's like, no, bitch, shut the fuck up. You wouldn't be nobody if Vince McMahon didn't fucking discover your ass and put you on TV. So shut the fuck up. You should be humble and grateful for what the fuck you have, because could have nothing.
At
Just
one
saying.
point, Vince McMahon wanted to like ban the bank statement submission hold because he deemed it too close to what Chris Benoit's crossface was. I'm like,
No,
huh?
I don't.
I heard that report. I'm like, huh? Like
People
what?
use face all the time. So, but
Yeah,
hey,
but her crossface to Vince was too
well,
similar to Chris Benoit. I'm like, how in the hell does that make any sense?
hey, AJ, take over. I'm gonna see if Dukas wants to go
Oh, I
potty.
thought you were gonna say you had to go take a shit again. I was about to laugh my ass off.
But
And I
either
don't
way, it's just a
just
Sasha
take over.
Banks. She may be worth some of the 100 mil, but not all of it, in my opinion. She may be worth like Roman Reigns money, which is 5 million a year.
Right?
Yeah,
Well, I
we
mean,
looked up these contracts on Less Than Serious, The highest paid male performer as of the end of 2023 was Brock Lesnar at 12.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
Roman's
And where's
making
he
5
at
million.
now? And where's he at right now? Nowhere.
Saskatchewan probably doing
Exactly.
something to Sable that we will not speak of.
He's not doing nothing with Sable. He's sitting there fucking milking his cows and watching My Little House on a Prairie. Are you kidding me? My Little House on the Prairie. Let's be honest here.
We also have to remember what did Terry Runnels at one point say on that podcast, like on her perspective on the plane ride from hell. She claimed at the time that because she was on this podcast with the female wrestlers, she claimed
Oh,
he was weak between the knees, if you know what I mean,
of
small between the
course.
knees.
Who?
Brock when he
Oh, The
flashed her.
Rock.
No,
Oh,
Brock
oh,
when he
Brock.
flashed Terry
Yeah.
Runnels on the plane ride from hell.
Oh, see, I don't. I.
You said this on a podcast recently
Uh-huh.
with other female wrestlers.
Well, that's what
Oh,
happens when you do steroids. Let's be honest with you.
yep, true. I guarantee you, Brock will be right back into UFC because of the USADA testing now officially out of UFC as they're testing
Hmm.
for drug testing. I guarantee you he'll be back in UFC now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if he, well, I don't know. Technically, I mean, since Endeavor now owns WWE, I mean,
And UFC, don't forget
yeah,
that.
right, right. No, I get that. I'm just saying, like, who knows? I mean, I I have no clue what's going on. Like, it doesn't seem like anything's changed besides Triple H is now at the helm. I mean, that's the only thing that's changed. It seems like.
According to some people, Nia Jax had her best match on Raw, which is shocking to hear, against
Mm.
Becky Lynch. Her best match on Raw that went about 12 minutes on television. I'm like, there's no fucking way that people are in agreement that this woman had her best match on Raw. There's
Mm.
no fucking way.
Sadly, when I see the winner,
I literally choked on the chili I was eating when I heard JD say that on his review for Raw. I literally choked on my own chili. I'm like, what?
as like I don't really watch the women wrestle, so when I saw them, I just fast forward. But oh gosh, I'm getting a nasty head.
You also have to remember, EJ, The Rock kind of took a few stiff shots from Jinder, which is why he looked a little frustrated when he was pushing them out of the ring in anger almost, and whipped them with something. I'm guessing a belt or a tie.
Well, let me bring
Jinder
this
put in
up.
a few stiff shots on Rock.
Oh shoot, got Randy Viper in the chat. What's up? So I for, we're pretty much gonna wrap up because there's really, if anyone wants to hear us talk about the whole Chris Jericho allegations, go back at the beginning. We're kind of
Mm-hmm.
finished up because right now there's really nothing else to really talk about. There's really
Exactly.
nothing.
We can save some of the good stuff for Friday as Raw.
That's if there's anything new. I mean, if
Exactly. True.
I I, I don't see
We can
this
talk
See now,
coming.
about
everybody
Monday night
starts coming in.
SmackDown.
That's what's funny.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying we could like. There's nothing else more to talk about the situation. There's no more details until
Mm-hmm.
like.
Personally, if we do a Friday as Raw, there better be new details. There better be something noteworthy on New Year's Evil, which is SmackDown's like
No,
theme,
that's
which is
right.
the SmackDown theme for sorry, SmackDown New Year's Revolution.
I
Sorry.
think New Year's Evil was NXT,
NXT. And they
but
promoted a title match back at the last PLE that doesn't even happen, with Ilya Dragunov being storyline hurt He wanted to wrestle, but the officials wouldn't allow him to wrestle with his neck being in the pain. Who gives a flying fuck?
No. Well, hey, let's do this. We hadn't got a chance
You
because we got.
advertised a match for this show. You didn't do it. That's false advertising.
Well, they
Am
call
I
it.
wrong?
Well, they call it card is subject to change. So
They didn't change the card until the day of the show.
it
That's
doesn't
the
matter.
problem and point I'm trying to make.
That's
Oh, this is great. I'm just sitting here listening to you marks fucking talk about this shit.
It took a backstage interview to say like the match is called off. I'm like, what the fuck are we? What the fuck is the audience watching for then? You can hear the fans booing in the fucking background of the backstage interview.
well. I didn't get a chance to say hi to everyone earlier because we just got right into it.
Yeah, no, really.
Stan put this when we originally were supposed to start before AEW Dynamite, but I was having internet issues again, but finally got fixed. We got Mikkel.
What's going on, Costanza? What's going on, Mikkel?
We got Kratos.
What's up,
And then
Kratos?
we got BR.
What's up, BR?
We got Bam.
What's up, Bam?
We got Talvish.
What's up, Talvish?
We got Apartment is Raw.
Of course, Apartment is Raw. We got EJ. We got Luis Money. What's up, homie?
And Randy Viper.
What's up, Randy Viper?
We got Pico.
Oh, my bitch is here. 63-3, bitch. Don't forget, I'm coming for your ass on Friday. Let me tell you, you're getting an ass chewed open. How are you gonna sit there and talk shit and then my dogs beat the brakes off your ass?
I saw that score. Oh my god! I saw the score and went, God damn.
See, that's what happens when you piss off a fucking Georgia Bulldogs team. They will rip you a new ass.
I
saw
that score the next day, and it's just like I nearly I just almost said out loud at work, God damn.
That was prison rape without no lube right there. Kirby just just kept going.
And now the Florida State quarterback posted something on Twitter in disgust for Alabama losing in the playoff game.
And
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, didn't y'all just get your asses kicked by Georgia?
Yep. Ass kicked, more like fucking slaughtered.
He's posting about Alabama losing, but he forgets that he just got destroyed 63-3 by Georgia. I'm like, pick your battles, boy. Pick your battles.
People don't know how to not shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Well, give people a heads up. We're talking about before all this. For Friday, I think our main topic, unless something changes, I think we're going to talk our predictions for the Rumble all the way to Mania.
Oh yeah, that should be fun. So wait, hold on. So we're talking about we're doing our Royal Rumble predictions.
Yeah,
then, every pay-per-view, right? Until WrestleMania?
Yeah, that would be only Rumble, Elimination Chamber, then Mania.
Well, is that really? I thought there was a third one because isn't that January, February, March, April?
Nope, no March pay-per-view. It's because Mania is right at the beginning of April.
Yeah, so they usually skip March. So
yeah, nowadays now. It used to be Fastlane in March, but they skip it.
I wouldn't say we book. I guess it's gonna be Elimination Chamber. I wouldn't say that much because we don't know who's gonna be all in that. But I'm just saying
we already know Rhea Ripley is gonna be on the card. Who she's wrestling is the question. That's all we need to know.
But I'm just saying, who we think is going to be the winner coming out of it, because not only and obviously that'll be the winner for a title shot at WrestleMania.
Yep.
So, but
I know a way. I just thought of a way we can get more time on Friday as well. Let's predict all 30 participants for each Rumble.
do that,
All 30 participants for each Rumble. All
or
three of us.
or we choose pick a prize
Yeah,
entrance.
like I said, all 30 participants and predict a potential surprise in the Rumble for each one.
So we can work this out. So yeah,
Y'all have my Skype. You guys have my Skype. We can work it out there.
you have to remind me because I rely on DMs from X because
Yeah, you have to remember I'm not there anymore. It's going to be hard to deal with, but it's a necessary evil after last week.
it's understandable. But I need to take care of this headache. I've been taking a lot of Tylenols and stuff, so I'm gonna
Be
put some.
careful with that, man. That can like get you in the hospital. Be careful with that. Don't
Yeah,
take
you're
too
only
many.
supposed to take 6 in a 12-hour, in a
6 in a
24-hour
24
period.
hour period.
Yeah.
That's it. Only 6 maximum in the full 24 hours. And if you're rotating
Casey's. Do
like
you see
pills,
Casey's face?
take
Like he's like,
take
I took
Tylenol
more
as
than that.
as a rotation. Okay.
Probably did. But
That's not good because that could fuck yourself up, like your
Yeah,
liver,
that can
fucking.
fuck up your liver, man.
I think that's ibuprofen.
No,
Mm,
it's any pain reliever. It can fuck up your liver if you take too many in one day.
My doctor pretty much tells me like I take
well, this is
ibuprofen,
Oklahoma. Let's be honest here.
Oh.
but let's go ahead and wind down.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to shout out, Kratos?
Not exactly. Nothing really new.
All
Just
right.
waiting on the summer so I can get more information on a game that I'm really hoping is good because I've been hyping it up as like the one game I'm gonna beat on the hardest difficulty ever
Huh.
for a for a fantasy RPG.
Gosh, AJ, you got a lot of background noise.
Oh, I'm outside. It's snowing.
That makes sense.
Sounds like it's a pop or something.
No, dude,
You
I'm
said he's
fucking
outside.
outside. I'm outside smoking a cigarette because I don't smoke in my new house because I don't want cigarette smoke in my house.
Fair. Very, very
Yeah.
fair.
You got anything to put up, AJ?
Not until Friday.
All right.
Oh, sure.
Ah, fucking snow,
Ah, damn. You
No,
got snow, but I don't. Damn it.
dude. Literally, fucking. I'm just sitting out here smoking a cigarette, and a big fucking gust of wind of snow literally just fucking came right on my head. Literally.
Damn.
well, I just got finished editing Celebrity Deathmatch for Xbox, so that'll be out
Didn't
tomorrow.
even know that was a game for the OG Xbox. Shit.
Yep.
It was on PlayStation 2, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I
I'll
have a
tell you
suggestion
what,
game
though.
for you, Casey. What about
What?
fuck? I have a suggestion for you. What about backyard wrestling?
I actually do have one of those.
Nice.
Well, today I released Metal Slug 2 Neo Geo versus Dreamcast. It's a re-upload. I did some editing on it and
Mm-hmm.
re-uploaded, so it's not the best quality, but I did some editing on it.
Yeah.
Uh, recently released Toe Jam and Earl 3 on Xbox, and on the first, I've showed around the the collection at the new apartment. So
Nice.
pretty much the apartment is done. The only thing is that I have a couple boxes of like cables and cords and stuff like that I need to go through and consolidate. So, but pretty
My
much it's
apologies, Casey. I still got to watch that video. I haven't watched it yet, so don't spoilers.
no spoilers. I
Yeah, I
mean,
haven't watched that video. I might watch it as soon as we're done with this. Well, if we get off, I'm thinking about watching it.
Yeah.
no, really, no spoilers. Just showing around the living room. But
Well, you just is it just the living room, or did you do your bedroom? Fucking
I think you're just talking
kitchen.
about the game room area that he
yeah,
organized and shit.
Oh,
the game room area
mm.
because like the setups and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, like
I'm
I don't.
surprised you don't have like one of those like tall like arcade cabinets in your new apartment, Casey.
Yeah,
Like like the Ninja Turtles one.
I got. I got one that's a Street Fighter 2 that I have right beside the entertainment center. Let me see if I can.
Ah.
Let me hold on. Let me take this off and let me see if I can turn me around and show it. Let's see. Uh, layout. Is it? No, it might be setting camera.
Don't dock yourself in the process.
It's not gonna. No, not face forward. Right there.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice
Yeah,
one.
Which one is that? Is that Street Fighter?
Yeah.
that's there too, right there.
Before
That's
Boogie went to fucking shit, he had every single one-up game. One-up.
well. The problem is with those is that like this one has three versions of Street Fighter 2. I
Yeah.
think they should have had Street Fighter 1, Street Fighter 2, and variant of either one of the other Street Fighters after Street Fighter 2.
Isn't there
Not
Street Fighter Alpha or something that's a part of that too? I think.
yeah, it's like Street Fighter Alpha and stuff
Right.
like or Zero. There's so many of them.
Yeah, it's like, isn't it all the same game, and the only thing is like hyper speed or something like that, right?
This one says Championship Edition, not Champion Edition.
Mm-hmm.
The one below it says Super Street Fighter, and the one below it says Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Is that a
So
computer or your TV? Because I can see my logo right there next to the. Is
TV.
that?
I
Oh,
think that's a
okay.
Steven.
Okay, I didn't know. I saw. You can hook. I don't know what kind of. You said you have a laptop, right?
Yeah, but
When you get when you get your new computer, you can just buy the computer itself. You don't need to buy like a fucking monitor for it. You can just use your TV.
oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
what I was thinking to do.
Right.
Uh, why I was showing this about the arcade is that I feel bad for the people who doesn't have like the machine like I do because mine's been modded that has over 800 arcade games.
Oh, Raspberry Pi, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I have one of those.
people need to do that because I feel bad for people who has only like three of the same game. I would be upset if I bought this and it was only three versions of Street Fighter 2.
I mean,
I
let's
mean,
be honest though; those arcade one-up machine cabinets. They've been out since 2016.
Yep.
So, I mean, and the Raspberry Pi has been out since like 2010. So I
right,
mean,
Yeah.
like people, if you haven't already got yourself one and you got one of those one-up arcade machines, you need to just get it and mod it and do it. I mean, it's really fun. I mean, hell, I even have one and I hook it up to my TV and I have a 55-inch flat screen, a 4K one, and it looks fucking amazing on it.
I'll tell
yeah,
you what, the only arcade cabinet I'm interested in is the Ninja Turtles one by one up. Just
Oh
because
yeah,
it has the original arcade Ninja Turtles game on it and it's the 4-person cabinet.
yeah, because you had two versions of Ninja Turtles.
In case he loses on 799 of those games. You mean 800 of them? He loses
But
on every single one. He's like, damn it.
well,
But
personally, it's because I grew up on the Ninja Turtles arcade game back when it was on Nintendo.
Hell yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
but
the music from that game I still enjoy listening to through YouTube. Actually,
Mm.
hopefully when I upload this, there's no copyright because I don't know if you guys watched the show Celebrity Deathmatch back in the day.
oh,
Oh,
I
of
So
did.
course.
it looked almost close to that point, especially those announcers. It looked like that. So
I
and it
don't. I don't think you'll get it unless Viacom is that much of fucking petty, and they actually take you down for it. I mean,
If
I don't
Viacom is
see
that
it.
ready to like claim copyright on a goddamn video game,
well, don't
when
get
they
you.
claim when
Well,
they've
I,
also been known to claim copyright on edited videos of their own cartoon episodes.
Yeah.
well,
Oh, you guys want to hear some fucked up shit? So, okay, Casey already knows about this, but Kratos. So, me and
But
Mikkel, we did a live stream on
okay.
the Orange Bowl, the Georgia Florida State game, right? Me and Mikkel
Mhm.
did. We literally had 1,000 views on that video. Fucking, I don't know why. Me and Mikkel, we usually play copyright music all the time, right? We play music
Mhm.
every single Friday. Disney finally comes out with their fucking claim and hits us because we had 1,000 fucking views on that fucking live stream. Literally, we had 500 people at one time in the chat hanging out with us when this game was going on. And then after the stream happens, I go back to Mikkel's page and I screenshot that we hit 1,000. He flips the fuck out like this has never happened to him before in his life.
Mhm.
And then literally not even like 2 minutes later, it's gone. And it says, yeah, we see something that says this content has been taken down by Disney Enterprises, and it's like fuck you, Disney. So pretty much the next day we were doing the rant. I went off on fucking Disney. I told them to go fuck off. They could eat shit and die, fucking piss
What
off,
does
all that
Disney
kind
have
of shit.
anything to do with college football?
well,
I don't
ABC.
know. ABC probably,
It
ESPN.
may have been some form of music you played by that was owned
I
by Disney.
think
But
I
still,
think well, there were six claims, and a lot of it was the copyrighted music, and I don't know, like if it was the opening because we did Mikkel did use the ESPN college football theme song, and that's
Oh, there.
owned by
that's still not
Disney.
owned by Disney though. That's owned by
Yeah, it is
ESPN.
ESPN. Yeah, but ESPN's owned by Disney.
Same thing with ABC. They're owned
Yeah.
by too.
Yep.
So
No, they're just in a partnership,
Yeah,
like
but
a
they still can
streaming
claim it.
partnership. It's not really. They don't really own them.
no, they
They're in a
own them.
streaming partnership, a streaming bundle with Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu. That's it. That's the
Yeah.
extent of their partnership. That's
I
still
don't
not
know. We
enough.
got a fucking copyright. I literally can show you the copy screenshot. And when
I'm not saying I disagree with you, but that's the
right,
extent of it.
yeah,
That's it.
no, dude, it was fucking crazy because it was like me and McKellar are sitting there flipping out like, oh my god, this is fucking never happened to us ever. And I show Casey it, and I show Tex it, and then literally 2 minutes later, it's completely gone. And I'm like, what the
Uh,
fuck
It
just
had to have
happened?
been someone pretending to be Disney.
No,
This
this was actual Disney. Like we have the statement and everything.
well,
Well, that's bullshit.
I made
That,
the
that's just
joke.
that's just bullshit.
I
Mm-hmm.
made I made the joke on Less Than Serious, saying that I had to take it down because I couldn't handle Macau getting 1,000 views. So I was
Yeah,
like,
you
Oh,
have
that was the video you
2,000
were talking
views.
about,
Yeah,
Casey.
you have 2,000 views on that one video, Casey.
oh, but he
So
had
that was the video you were talking about. I didn't connect. I wouldn't have been able to connect the dots if AJ didn't say anything. Now, fuck.
but I was making a joke saying I had to take it down and just cite it for copyright reasons. But no, I was making that joke. But
Yeah, I never got the joke until now that I think about it. With AJ mentioning the copyright strike.
But
And now we can use Steamboat Willie as any type of anything because it's legal. It's private domain. Mickey Mouse.
version of Steamboat Willie Mickey
Yep.
Mouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's something we could talk about on Friday as Raw.
Do that.
Yeah, the original Mickey Mouse cartoon that introduced the world to Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
But I
I'm
think
not
with an hour and 42 minutes, we did pretty good.
yeah, I'm gonna go take a muscle relaxer and go to bed. So
Yeah, that would be best instead of taking too many Tylenol. The last thing you need is your liver starting to bleed on you in your sleep.
Don't
right
say that
now
to
the
Casey. He already freaks out about the smallest things. Don't say that to him. He'll freak the fuck out.
back is hurting.
So take the muscle relaxer, dude. Start.
So for AJ Raiders and Kratos, I am Casey Raw. Do you want to close this? This is actually your show for
This
night.
Okay. So from me, Big Dog AJ, to Kratos, to Casey is Raw, the cheeseburger himself, the hamburger himself.
Yeah,
This is Wednesday. What?
the real hamburger.
Shut up, Grimace. This is
We all
Wednesday
know that
Night
hamburger is
Nitro.
black in real life.
Yeah, this is Wednesday Night Nitro. We will see you guys back here on Friday night. Friday is Raw. Have a good night, everybody. And we're all out of time. We will see you on Friday. Bye.